The Georgia Bulldogs are jumping back into conference play this week after a bye, and the Alabama Crimson Tide are coming to town. Head coach Kalen DeBoer met with the assembled media in Alabama to talk about the game. Let's get into it.
Just leave your hands up and go ahead and get started, Coach.
Yeah, you bet. Good morning, and I know you heard from the coordinators, and so just I think overall just excited about the week upcoming, the preparation, getting ready for a very good Georgia team, one that's undefeated, going to Athens, Georgia. Going to be a great atmosphere, great environment. Something our guys are looking forward to. You can tell just with the way we've had practices here at the end of the last week, yesterday, just high energy and looking forward to the challenge.
One thing's for sure, I've heard a lot of people talk about, what Alabama team is going to show up, which team is going to actually come to Athens. Is it going to be the team that's won the last 2 weeks against lesser competition, or is it going to be the team that showed up and actually failed to show up to open the season on the road against Florida State? I don't know. One thing's for sure, regardless of what Kalen says here today, I fully expect Georgia to get Alabama's very best effort. They're going to show up, they're going to play hard, and they are a talented football team. That alone makes this a dangerous football game for our dogs.
Thanks, Coach. Let's start with Nick, front right.
Yeah, do you expect Jam to be able to go for the game?
I do expect him to go. He practiced yesterday, been building up last week his volume, and so expect him to play.
Well, now that's key for Alabama, because one thing about this team so far this year, they haven't really been able to run the football the way we think about Alabama running the football. In fact, I think they're ranked like 103rd in the nation in rush offense so far. Is that because they didn't have Jam Miller, or is it because the offensive line is not getting the job done? Or maybe they're just all around not as physical as we're used to. One of the keys to the game this week is I think Georgia is going to have to try to remind Alabama just how difficult it has been for them to run the football this year, play that run well, put the game on Ty Simpson's shoulders, make them one-dimensional, and then get to work disrupting that offensive line and Ty the rest of the game. We'll see how it goes. No doubt Jam Miller coming back is big for the Tide, but I'm hoping it's not going to be revelatory in that all of a sudden they're going to find a run game that they haven't had all year.
Over to the left side, Chase.
Staying with Jam Miller, what does his pass protection ability bring to the running backs, especially in a game like this where you're playing a really physical defense on the road?
Yeah, no question that Jam's a complete back all around, not just what you see with him carrying the football, but in his pass protection, both the responsibility and the ability to get the job done physically as well. So he's very important that way. He's someone that we trust at the highest level, and just in fall camp and spring ball, goes back to last year. He's just been super consistent as a pass protector, not just as a guy who can carry the football.
Yeah, no news there. I mean, we witnessed it last year. We saw the effect that Jam had on the game for Alabama. Yes, it was Milroe that did the most damage in the run game for Alabama last year, but Jam ran hard, he protects the football, and he is a quality pass protector. What makes him more dangerous, and what we might really see a lot from him this week, is what Kirby likes to refer to as an extension of the running game, where they swing it out to him. Remember last year, he beat C.J. Allen on that wheel route for the touchdown in Tuscaloosa. So he can certainly hurt you in the pass game. That might be the bigger impact he has in this game on Saturday. The Dogs are going to have to make certain that they have a plan to stop that pass game out of the backfield against Alabama.
Let's go to Jamie on the front right.
Hey, Coach, how important is discipline in a game like this where penalties, mistakes, and crowd noise could swing momentum?
Yeah, I mean, not every game, but a lot of these games that you have in the SEC come down to one possession, and going into the fourth quarter. And when you have games that are that close, it's a play here, a play there that keeps the drive alive. A lot of times it comes down to penalties. Obviously, there's an execution piece that is really important throughout the game, but you don't know when that penalty is. Is it the one that extends the drive in the first quarter, the fourth quarter? You got to be able to be focused and be disciplined for 4 quarters and more if needed.
I've been asked this week so far, what impact do I think the crowd's going to have on the game? And I really do think that the Sanford Stadium crowd is going to show up and be loud and impact the game on Saturday night. I know that because Kirby has sort of asked for it earlier, like after the game against Austin Peay, where We had guys didn't return after the rain, and before that against Marshall, where the student section maybe left early, and Kirby sort of challenged the fans. I expect them to show up and be loud and be involved in the game on Saturday night. And I think it's going to matter. On the Alabama side, I really do have questions because that offensive line has not shown that they can manage that sort of thing. It could have been because he didn't get a whole lot of help at Florida State, but Ty Simpson also looked shook when they were in Tallahassee and the crowd noise was loud and things were building against Alabama that day. So I think it's important that the crowd show up. I think they put stress on this team on Saturday night, and I do expect it to have an impact in the game, both when Georgia is playing defense as well as when Georgia's playing on offense, right, to buoy the spirits and get them hyped up and get them ready to go. So I'm looking forward to it being an electric atmosphere in Athens on Saturday night.
On the right side, let's go to Charlie next.
Yeah, Coach Womack said that Tim's going to be able to go, Tim Keenan's going to be able to go this week. Just what kind of boost does that give your defense up front?
Yeah, I think in a couple of ways. I mean, he's voted team captain for a reason, and so the energy he's brought, the last even 2 to 3 weeks, just, his juice, and he's that way naturally. He loves this place. I think, his perspective of being on the sideline has brought another level of energy to him that our defense and our whole team can really has responded to. And then on top of it, he's a big anchor, big body in there that can kind of hold down the line of scrimmage, get a push in the pocket on pass plays, and so it's good to have him back. And he's had a couple good days here and continue to build here through the week of practice is what we're expecting.
Well, of course, Alabama's going to get back all their star players just ahead of the Georgia game, right? That's how this thing works. If you're a Georgia-minded person, I mean, I'm glad the guys are healthy. Really, I am. Because now they come back. Georgia or Alabama has their full allotment of players. I mean, everybody that they could hope to have at this point. And I would just want to play that team. I don't want to play a team that's beat up. I want to play the best version of Alabama, and I hope that Georgia shows up and takes care of business. I think Tim Keenan absolutely can make a difference in that game. His conditioning clearly is going to be a thing. So, yes, he's a big body in there. It's going to give the team a little more confidence that he's back. But if Georgia is able to do what they want to do in this game, especially in the run game, then that return might not be as big a deal, because will he be getting winded late in the game? Will he have the stamina to sit in there in the fourth quarter and stop Georgia when it really matters? So, yes, it's good for them that he's back, but you don't miss the entirety of the season and then show up and play at an All-American level for 4 quarters. If you do that, then you are truly special and a first-round player. I know Tim Keenan's good. I don't know if he's like that.
Go to Kennington back right.
Just what have you seen in the last few weeks from the team? Could be in game, could be in practice, that gives you confidence that they'll be able to go on the road and execute on like what happened in week 1?
Yeah, whatever we've asked of this group, they've just been so coachable, and I think talking through and going through what we've experienced together. You got to prove it on the football field, but just the way that they want to respond in practice, I think, has carried over into what we've done, at least in these home games these last 2 weeks. And so, we got to be resilient. We know there's going to be storms that we're going to have to weather in the SEC, on the road, and you gotta do it. No one else is going to go do it for you. I know there's a high want-to factor that this group has. Again, they've shown it in the work. They've shown it in their preparation, and that's the key. Really, just prepare, invest, and do everything you can to be confident and do something special together. And so, I just ask these guys to empty the tank every single day, and they've done that. And that's what we got to do on Saturday. But we're going to have to be resilient, and understand that adversity against good football teams is going to happen, and know what our response is going to be, choose our response, and understand what that looks like even now, not just when it happens.
Well, that's certainly a good coach answer, but he knows, and I think we all know, that regardless of what you did the last 2 weeks, it's easy to go out there and play, big bully when you clearly are the better team. Now, that doesn't make you execute perfectly or anything like that. So I'm not dismissing what he says here, but I am saying that nobody is going to believe that this is a different looking team than what we saw against Florida State until they come out and show us. That's not me picking at Alabama. That's a fair football observation. Like, the only way to know whether any of that coach speak matters is the way the guys show up and play on Saturday. So he's going to find out, and so are we. And it is going to be a test. Like I said, the crowd noise, the football team across from them. I'm very interested to see exactly which Alabama team shows up.
To the left side, let's go to Colin.
Kind of in that same vein, has there been a change in conversation, a change in schedule when it comes to approaching games on the road, especially
Logistics.
I mean, I think you do the same things. You might tweak something here and there, but I think it still comes down to, your preparation and execution. Every game's a little different depending on how far you travel and all that, where you're staying. And that's a lot of the times how the coordination of the schedule, might be impacted. And so for us, the flight and then the drive the next morning, that's going to be different than it is in some other cities that we go to. So again, it just comes down to keeping the main thing. You are certainly, in our case, always really trying to find the little thing here and there that might, help us with the juice, the energy, whatever it might be. But we also don't want to make something out of nothing. And, we want to make sure we're focused on the right things. And that's just, playing as hard as we can, giving everything we have to our preparation and going out there and playing physical, sound, disciplined football.
No doubt they're meticulous in how they put together their plan, their logistical travel plan when they go on the road. But I fully understand the question. I mean, it obviously hasn't been working out great for you. So are you doing anything different? At the end of the day, he actually told the truth. It's great, that we do this, that, or the other thing that morning. But the bottom line is, what did you do in the week leading up? Who are you between the lines on Saturday? And how do you play and execute? And that's the bottom line. So, I mean, I guess you can point to anything and ask the question because you want to cover your bases. But at the end of the day, it's about what happens between the lines.
Let's go to Emily Grace, front left.
Coach, in what ways have you seen your players maintain the level of intensity and focus that you expect through the bye and in preparation for Georgia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I've asked them to do is just really look at their process, and this is the way it should always be. Just really kind of similar and adding to the question that was just asked about even what we're doing on road trips and things like that. You're always trying to just make things better. And so I don't care if it's how they take notes. What's that system? Is it, color-coded ink that you use? And how can you just make it better for you to be more successful? And so I see that with these guys. I see that with them trying to find just little ways they can make themselves better. It might be with treatments and their schedules. And, they pour so much into it, but you can always make things better and be smarter about it. And when it comes to practice on the field, I can just see, again, we've focused on moving with purpose. Everything we do, just move with an urgency level that just has great body language and becomes infectious or contagious, I should say, across the team. And so I see that, and the action supports the desires and goals that they have as a team. And really, it's again, goes back to everything I've ever asked them to do. They've always responded. And so that's really what I've asked them to focus on.
I make a little fun there about the color ink or whatever, but I take the point, the larger point. And he's right. You always want to improve wherever you can. There's no argument there. But it goes back to which team are we going to see? Like, that was a little bit of coach speak. They've always done what we ask, and this looks different, and I can tell. Okay, that's fine, but I'm sure you said something similar leading up to your first game of the year. They're doing what we're asking, and everybody's getting after it, and we're excited. Yeah, it's great. But, I mean, when, you step on the field on Sanford or inside Sanford on Saturday, that all goes out the window. When you get hit in the teeth, it all goes out the window, and you got to show up and answer the bell about who you really are. So I get it. Work on it, refine it. I do have to wonder, though, if you have bigger questions, is sharpening the edges the solution? Or do you really need to sort of restructure the approach, if you see what I'm saying? Like in the run game, if you're 103rd in the country rushing the football, is the fact that your hand placement on the football, if you're Ty Simpson as you hand it off, is that actually that important to making you a better running football team? I get it. I know I'm picking, but I do say you still got to show up and do it.
All right, we're going to finish up with Katie, second row on the left.
You talked last week, and then Kane talked earlier about there's got to be a better response to adversity on the road. I know last year's game was at home, but how much can you use that game as an example of responding to adversity and then finishing through all 4 quarters?
Yeah, and that's it. And it's never over till it's over. And you can, I challenged the guys to watch some football this weekend. And, we pulled up a game or two and tried to learn from what other teams are doing and what happened to them, good and bad. And that, you fight till the very last play. And that's whether you're ahead or whether you're on the wrong end of it at that time. And that example last year was exactly, one that we lived out. And so it was great, and then it was hard, and then we found a way. And so, you play because crazy things happen, and you play because you love to compete, and that's what, our guys are going to do here this Saturday.
Well, there you have it. And he's not wrong. What happened last year in Tuscaloosa was right down to the end, and they made one more play than Georgia did, and that was the difference in the game, ultimately. And with that said, though, the boost, the advantage that Alabama had from being at home last year, which frankly I underestimated the crowd over there in Tuscaloosa. I hadn't been paying attention to how vocal they wanted to be because frankly Georgia hadn't gone over there and played a lot. So I wasn't fully aware of how loud they can be at Bryant-Denny. But at the end of the day, I think that home field was one of the things that lifted Alabama up and allowed them to make one more play than Georgia. So this year, I'm looking at the Sanford Stadium crowd and everybody who's in Athens on game day to create that same sort of environment for Georgia to see if they can do their part to be the difference in the outcome on Saturday night, because I'm certain they are going to impact the game. That was Kalen DeBoer. His Alabama Crimson Tide are going to be between the hedges on Saturday night taking on our Dogs. I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to get after it. Go Dogs!
So how about them fucking dogs? That's what I told them.